How's it going, everyone? I hope you're all doing well, and today we're actually going to be talking about why I initially switched to using Apple products. Specifically, we're going to be talking about both Mac and iPhone, going to dive into the history of the different tech products I've used over the years, and why I eventually settled on this. See, I thought this would be an interesting video to make because a lot of people just start with Apple products and stick with them, but I was initially very much a Windows and Android user. So, what made me switch? Okay, so I actually went out to film this one, as you guys just saw, and I totally forgot my good microphone. So I had to use my phone. To be honest, it actually turned out alright. Alright, let's get into it. Right, Greg's porridge, first impression. Oh, that looks like fucking gruel.
Wrong.
What the f... Spent £1.20 on this. Try that.
Yeah, that might be the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I didn't eat that. I had 4 donuts instead. That was much better. Alright, so I initially switched to Mac in about 2016. See, at the time I was using my gaming PC to edit all my videos, but while it was the best that I could afford at the time, it just wasn't cutting it for what I wanted to do. I'd recently bought a 4K camera, and it really couldn't handle the 4K files to edit at a decent pace. At this point, I found out about Macs and Final Cut and all that good stuff, so I decided to sell my PC, take the plunge, and I've never really looked back. Other than when I briefly switched to a Ryzen PC for a couple of months at the start of, 2019, I ran right back to Mac after 2 months. Seriously, that thing could not edit to the standards which I wanted. And while I did continue to work in Final Cut, I also found that Premiere Pro also just worked better on Mac. So after that point, I kind of just stayed. And while to this day, I do have a gaming PC that I do just use for gaming, it's a gaming PC. I only use it for gaming. But throughout the majority of my Mac switch, including when I got my iMac, which I used to edit most of the videos on this channel, I was still on Android for a good portion of that. So, what made me finally take the plunge to iPhone? Honestly, it's a totally different reason. It had nothing to do with ecosystem or anything like that. No, I was almost annoyed into switching to iPhone. Alright, so the main reason I switched to iPhone is in around September of 2018, I bought a really expensive Android phone. I bought the Samsung Galaxy S8, which at that time was the most expensive phone I'd ever bought for myself. Now, I was expecting this thing to be awesome, and don't get me wrong, for the first few months I owned this thing, it kind of was. It ran games super fast, social media worked well, it didn't slow down in the operating system in any way. This thing was a pretty great phone, but as soon as we passed the 4-month mark or so, this thing just totally went wrong. It got so much worse, so fast. I was honestly shocked. In fact, it's become almost a running joke on this channel at this point about how badly that phone worked. And to make things worse, both the front and the back completely broke after a while. So I needed a new phone, and I was faced with a tough dilemma. Do I go with an Android phone, which is what I'd known up until this point, or did I try something new entirely? Well, as my experience on the Mac side of things was so good, I decided I'd pick up a used iPhone 7 off eBay and just test it out and see if I liked it. Honestly, as soon as I started using this thing, it absolutely blew me away. At this point, this phone had been out for several years, so the fact that it still worked this well was kind of shocking to me. I got on very well with the operating system. To be honest, I was never one to be super customizable on Android anyway, and I didn't play very many games, so I didn't need stupid amounts of performance. However, I did and still do use a lot of social media, so a phone that worked well with social media was very important, and I found out the iPhone 7 was excellent at this. I also really liked the camera on this thing. Again, the camera on the Samsung S8 did kind of let me down just a little bit. However, on the iPhone 7, it was much better, which was kind of strange because I only spent about £150 on them, around 220 bucks-ish, which was much cheaper than what I'd previously spent on an Android. So I upgraded, I got the iPhone 10, and that was one of my favorite phones I'd ever had. And while I did get curious and try another Samsung, this time the S10, along with a bunch of phones from the Pixel line, which I actually found I did like. So I wasn't necessarily put off Android, but Samsung definitely wasn't the phone phone for me. They did look very nice and they were flashy, but they were never really all that practical, which is what I found I liked in a phone. And with that, I just kind of stuck. So while I do still use Pixels to this day, the iPhone definitely just de facto became my main phone. Alright, so as you can see, I'm back in my house now, and speaking of something else that's back, we have my hair. It's back to its sort of natural colour. It's a little bit darker. That'll fade out in time though, and I'll finally have my natural hair colour back. Also, as you can see, my face is totally stained with dye. It's not only tech products that I cheap out on. I'll also avoid paying someone to dye my hair properly because I can do it at home. Alright, let's crack on with the rest of this video. Alright. Time to play What's in This Bag? Give you a clue, it was very cheap. So this is one of the cheapest phone cases I could find on Amazon. It was a whopping $5. Let's see how it fits. Well, as you can see, it does fit alright. In fact, now you can nicely see the blue colour of my phone. Yeah, this doesn't feel as protective as my main case. And yes, I am planning to make a video on this. As you can see, it's still got the little wrist strap holes. It's certainly got some, like, protective padding on the corners. It even has some overhang on the screen, so if you drop it on the screen from barely any height onto something that's flat, probably not gonna get damaged. Wouldn't trust it any more than that though. Anyway, expect to see a video on this case coming soon, but for now, I'm gonna put this back on. So the way you put really stiff phone cases on is you actually push through the camera, then it just sort of peels off. Same with the mouse case. Yeah, this one definitely has more overhang and protection. And realistically, that's pretty much it. I certainly wasn't paid any ludicrous amounts of money. To be totally honest, I just tried things that worked out and stuck with what I liked. Anyway, gonna wrap this one up now. Have you ever switched from one operating system to another? Feel free to let me know in the comments. I always enjoy reading those. As for now though, as always, thank you for watching. Remember to like the video if you want to see more content like this, then smash that subscribe button. I'm done for now, and I will see you guys in the next one.